Good evening. This July the 7th, 2026 Board of Meeting is hereby called to order. We're fortunate to have with us tonight Pastor Dean Stewart, Senior Pastor at LaBelle Haven Baptist Church, who will lead our invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, which I will lead. Please stand. Pastor, come forward.
Mr. Mayor, Councilman, thank you for your service to our community. You do a great job, and we admire you, and we are thankful for you. Would you pray with me? Father in heaven, I thank you for the opportunity to gather, Lord, with the representatives from our government that you have placed in positions to rule over us. And your word says that we're to submit to their authority, and we're grateful for them. Every man and woman that make up the leadership of these 6 wards that we have, we are grateful for them. And I pray, God, that you would give them supporters in their life who will pour into them and share thankfulness. I pray, Father, you would give them wisdom to make decisions to lead our community well. Father, I just want to thank you for our mayor and these aldermen. And Lord, I pray you would bless their families, their homes, and their lives. Tonight we will honor Coach Poole, who poured his life into the young men and women in our community. He's been honored in our state, Lord, and I pray, God, that tonight would be a special night for him, and that you would bless him, Lord, in these days in his life. We love you, and we praise you, and we pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Be seated. Thank you, Pastor Stewart. Madam Clerk, would you conduct roll call?
Aldridge. Here. Collins.
Here.
Dickerson.
Here.
Earhart.
Here.
Gamage.
Here.
Hamilton. Here. Wallace.
Here. Thank you. All present, so a quorum's obviously established. I do have one comment card already completed, but if you're here on one of the public comment items tonight and you plan to address the board, please take one of the blue cards on the front counter right before the front row, complete that and give it to one of the clerks, clerk or assistant clerk to my right. Board, you have the minutes of our regular meeting on June the 16th. Any questions, comments, or motions to approve those minutes?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Ms. Hamilton. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Wallace. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. We'll break protocol a moment and go to the microphone and ask Coach Poole to join me if he will. This is a proclamation from the board and myself to Coach Leslie Poole. As mentioned earlier, he's been honored in the state, and he carries a place of honor in our hearts and our community. This is a little lengthy, so bear with me if you will. This is a proclamation, whereas Coach Leslie Poole devoted his entire 25-year coaching career to the students and athletes of Olive Branch, Mississippi, and Olive Branch High School, leaving an enduring legacy of excellence, leadership, and sportsmanship that continues to inspire generations of conquistadors. And whereas, after serving his country in the United States Army and graduating from Delta State University, fighting okra there, Coach Poole came to Olive Branch in 1974, serving first as an assistant football coach and head baseball coach before becoming head football coach and athletic director, leading the football program for the next 23 seasons. And whereas from 1976 through 1998, Coach Poole built one of North Mississippi's premier football programs, compiling an outstanding career of 181 victories, capturing 10 district and division championships, 7 Chickasaw Conference titles, 2 state semifinals appearances, and guiding his team to the state playoffs in 11 seasons while earning 7 Chickasaw Conference Coach of the Year honors. And whereas, beyond his remarkable success on the football field, Coach Poole faithfully served the Olive Branch community through the city's Park and Recreation Department and positively impacted countless young people throughout his mentorship, dedication, and commitment to developing character both on and off the field. And whereas Coach Poole's extraordinary contributions have been recognized through the induction into the Mississippi Association of Coaches Hall of Fame, the Olive Branch Hall of Fame, and through the naming of Poole Field at Olive Branch High School, ensuring that his legacy will forever remain a part of the city's rich history. And whereas the city of Olive Branch is honored to recognize Coach Poole for his exceptional service, unwavering dedication and education and athletics, and the lasting impact he has made on our community, I, Kenneth R. Adams, Mayor of the City of Olive Branch, and the Board of Aldermen, do hereby proclaim July the 7th, 2026 as Coach Leslie Poole Day in the City of Olive Branch. Congratulations, Coach Poole. Thank you very much. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Just right here is fine. Is that okay? Let me hold that.
I just want to say thank you to the mayor and to you board members. I appreciate it. It's an honor. And, you know, I've been in the community since '74. That's a long time ago. There's been a lot of changes. But y'all accepted me in '74, and I stand before you tonight, and you're still accepting me. So I'm grateful for that. All the information that's been published comes from Greg Phillips, the city's employee. He knows everything about high school football in Olive Branch. He knows everything about me. He probably can tell you how many times I was nauseated before a football game, and he may have even recorded when I had diarrhea, if you don't mind me saying. He is really an asset to Olive Branch football. But rather than talk football, I'd like 2 minutes to explain how I got involved with the city of Olive Branch. Mayor Nichols, Milton Nichols, I think his office was over there where the fire department is now. He called me and asked me to come to his office. He wanted to talk to me. Well, we had built a new park, and the only person sitting in here old enough to remember this is George Collins. I hated to say that, George. But he asked me, could I finish a Little League field so that they could play the state tournament up here? And I said, Mayor Nichols, I don't have time. He said, I plead with you. I'll give you some help. And he gave me Bull Busby. And that was when we only had 3 baseball fields. Now you got fields everywhere. So me and Bull go down there, and we start working on that field. And we got the grass looking good, the skin portion looking good, and me not knowing anything about Little League baseball, he and I built a mound. Perry Lee Boland was the local Little League chairman, and he brought the state director up here. And the state director looked around. He said, everything looks great, but Little League baseball don't have a mound. The mound's got to come down. Bull and I had taken one of them jumping jacks and pounded that thing. It was harder to get the dirt off of it, but we finally got it down, and the director came back and accepted it. That was one call I got from Mayor Milton Nichols. The second call, he wanted to know if I could make the grass in Blocker Cemetery look like the football field. And I said, Mayor, I might can, but it's not going to be done overnight. Well, he said, just do what you can. I said, well, I'm going to have equipment, fertilizer, and chemical. Get what you need. So me and the kids that were working for me started going to the cemetery. And we got the cemetery grass looking really good. Then Will McNair, I don't know if some of y'all here know Will, he came in as park director. I said, Will, if we don't get on that grass, he said, you don't have to do that this year, Coach. I said, why not? He said, you don't have to because we've hired a lawn contractor. Said, we bid it out. I said, why didn't you tell me you was going to bid it out? I might have bid it. He said, you don't have a contractor's license. I said, well, I didn't have one when I was working on it the other 2 years. But that's how I got involved with the city, because of Milton Nichols. Now, again, I thank you, but I want to tell one funny story, and I'm going to close because I know you got a lot of business. Brian Dye sitting there, he coached women. Then he went to law school, and he went to work with Jimmy Woods. My closest friend, who's laying up at Brach Cemetery now, Roe Ross, was with me and Woods and died one afternoon. And Roe was very blunt. He didn't mean anything by it, but he was going to say what he thought and act like he was mad as the devil. He said, Mr. Dye, let me get this straight. You work with Coach Poole, and now you working with Jimmy Woods. He said, young man, you ain't got a chance in hell of being successful. Thank y'all. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Awesome. Board, we're at the consent agenda now. You have those items before you. Sure, certainly know you've reviewed those. Any questions, comments, or motions on the consent agenda items? Motion to approve by Mr. Collins. Is there a second? Second, Ms. Aldridge. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. You have item 1, consent agenda item for Planning Commission, obviously more administrative in nature. This is simply setting the public hearing date on August 18th, 2026 for this Board of Zoning Adjustment hearing on a conditional use permit. So asking the board to a motion, second, and vote on the public hearing date for August 18th for this particular application.
So moved.
Mr. Dickerson, motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Earhart, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. It's set on that date. This is Planning Commission new business, a public hearing date for consideration and action on a motion declaring the condition of the following properties to be a menace to the public health and safety and directing either the city, staff, or contract labor to clean the property forthwith. Dr. Song, your report, please.
Thank you, Mayor Aldermen. Before you so request concerning a number of properties, at the time staff sent out the memo, this property at 9064 K Duran Lane, it had been cleaned. See on this picture. The one along Craft Goodman Road frontage owned by Vikram Patel, that property had also been cut. The same applies to the parcel along Goodman Road owned by Traverse Corporation at 6130 Goodman Road. That property had been cleaned at the time the staff report or memo was sent out to the board. The same applied to this piece of property on Fox Chase Drive, all clean. Since the staff memo was sent out to the board, one property has been cleaned, that owned by EPH2 Assets LLC at 6436 Nesting Dove. So you see on these pictures, that property has been cleaned. There are 3 other lots that have not been properly attended to, that owned by Mr. Richard Pounders at 6016 Cherokee Drive. It is still, grass is, we still have tall grass on that piece of property. There is at 7090 Fox Creek Drive. The grass there is still very tall. It has not been attended to. These pictures were taken this morning. And lastly, at 4551 Camilla Place, this picture was taken at about 4 o'clock this afternoon. The grass is still tall. It has not been cut. Therefore, staffs recommend that the board declare the condition of the following 3 properties to be a menace to public health and safety, and direct either the city staff or contract labor to clean the properties forthwith. That concludes staff's presentation. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Dr. Song. Is anyone here to speak on behalf of or against any discussion on the properties that have been named? Anyone here to speak? Come forward, sir. Are you Mr. Griffith? Yeah. Thank you for being with us, Mr. Griffith.
I live at 7078 Fox Creek Drive, 7090 is my next door neighbor. His grass in the front yard is about 1 foot high. In the backyard, it's hard to even estimate. It's a jungle back there. I got poison ivy a couple of weeks ago because he had stuff, they have stuff growing over the fence post or the fence, and I was tearing it down. And when I looked at it, I thought it was poison ivy. I should have took a deeper breath before I tore it down, so I ended up with poison ivy and had to get steroid shots. So I'd appreciate you guys doing whatever you can for that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And that's in regards to 7090 Fox Creek Drive? Okay. Thank you, sir.
I assume the house has been vacated. Does anyone live there? Has it been vacated?
As far as I know, it's vacated. No one lives there. I've heard, I'm not certain. I've heard it's up for foreclosure. I haven't researched any of it.
Okay, all right, thank you.
If the board's so inclined, motion, second, and vote on these properties that need to be addressed, these three. Public comments obviously closed at this point.
Make the motion to clean.
Mr. Wallace, motion to clean. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Collins, second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries for the city to address those properties. Thank you, sir. Next item, under new business, consideration of recommendation to authorize final payment number 7 in the amount of $50,774.92, including retainage on the contract with Alexander Construction LLC, and accept the project as complete for the project referred to as the Pickleball Facilities, Olive Branch City Park. Mr. Swims?
We've had good success in getting this project done. It is complete. This is our final payment. It includes retainage, and we are requesting that final payment and acceptance of the project be paid.
Thank you, Mr. Swims. And Mr. Reichard, COO Reichard, minimal damage from the storm to the pickleball facility? That's correct. Okay, very good. Any questions, board?
I'll make a comment. The
Yes, sir.
pickleball facility is being used till 8, 9 o'clock in this pack.
It is. That's right. High usage on that court, and people are certainly enjoying it. Yep. Is there a motion to make this final and to pay the final payment?
So moved.
Mr. Collins, motion to pay. Is there a second? Second, Ms. Aldridge. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Item 2, consideration of recommendation to approve change order number 11 on the contract with A&B Construction in the additive amount of $3,213.79, increasing the contract amount from $8,836,370.95 to $8,839,584.74, extending the contract time by an additional 15 calendar days, making the new contract completion date June the 30th, 2026, for the project referred to as the Olive Branch Public Works Complex. Mr. Swim?
It's basically just it's a very small amount for this change order. There's an accordion type wall that extends out that was hitting the sprinkler heads, so those actually have to be recessed up into the ceiling. So this is to cover the cost of that change order. So we are requesting approval for that work.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, I got a question. Why does it have June 30th on here? Has it already been completed?
No, the work has not been completed.
Well, it said completion date by June 30th. I'm just, it kind of confused me on it. I understand. I didn't know if the work's already been done and they've already completed it, or is that just a misprint?
Where does it say, June 30? I'm looking, okay. "15 days."
So, you know, on
We're
the
past
agenda.
June the 30th. so
We are,
obviously-
so, they would just be beyond the contract time, but that they were given additional time, but they can still be beyond the contract time, but the June 30th is the additional days that they've requested to
Okay,
do
well,
that work.
It doesn't
So-
say that, but it means you're giving them an additional 15 days.
They can
from
still
the
be
June
beyond the
30th.
contract time.
Through June 30th. And so if the project were to extend beyond June 30th, they would be, either there would be an additional change order in the future, or they would be beyond the contract completion.
Well, I mean, it doesn't, I didn't how I read it, but I mean, that's fine, I understand what you're saying. But it says make the new contract completion date June 30th. Doesn't say 15 days, you know, additional for, but I'm fine with it. I mean, I'm not, you know, that's not,
Now, I can't speak as to why June 30th was selected, since we are past that date. It is
yeah, that's what I'm
confusing.
saying, we've already
I'm
passed.
assuming the prior contract completion date was June 15th. They got 15 additional days if this contract, or if this change order is approved.
Any type of change order that we do will add additional days if it has to do with weather, if it has to do with a certain amount. The contractor, for various reasons, could have passed that date, and it looks like that is the case here. But the 15 additional days is tied to this work, and so the June 15th, like Brian said, is the date that we had for the completion date. We did give them the additional 2 weeks that it would take for this work.
So is it a fair statement, Mr. Swim, that this work is done, it's completed, and now we want to pay it?
No, this
But I
work
mean,
has not been
Okay.
done
It
yet.
ain't a lot of money, but I just
Okay.
thought it read wrong.
In general, change orders need to be approved in advance of the work being done.
Right.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
So,
They can still be beyond the date, but once you give them the additional time, which we did, we have to go off the date that's current for the completion date. That was,
We'll
I'm
look at the
assuming,
wording,
June
because, I mean,
15th.
obviously, it's not a new completion date if it's June the 30th, because it's already passed. But we'll look at the wording going forward. But you're comfortable that this is the right amount, $3,213.79?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I mean, I don't have a problem with that.
and I think, Mayor, I think the point, Mr. Swims, I think would make is that the 15 days is the amount of time that was anticipated for this particular additional work.
That's correct.
It wasn't necessarily intended to set a date that would be reflective of the completion of all work.
That's right. They,
And so the contract completion date was June 15th. They think the recessing of the sprinkler heads would take another 2 weeks, and so they granted the contractor 15 additional days. Is it fair to say that you may have a final quantities adjustment and a final change order to true up all unit prices and lines in the contract? And have
well,
a
we
final
will
change
have
order?
that. Whether or not that's gonna, then the rain days that are associated with it, that all is looked at sometimes toward the end. I'm not sure if we're finalizing that or not, but at this point, for each change order, sometimes they have days associated with them, and sometimes they don't. Those days keep adjusting the time period for the completion of the project. So it is confusing. I understand it's confusing, but it is sometimes where the additional time, because we could get to the end and say, hey, you should have had this contract done in a certain period of time. We got to go back and look and see if there's anything that needs to be done for damages or going beyond the contract time. But the 2 weeks that we're giving them here is strictly for producing this work. And we went to the date that they currently had for completion, and we added the 2 weeks onto that date.
Well, my only thing was, it looks like we're proving it after it's been done. You know, the way, I would think the public would look at it too. You know, I just, you know, that doesn't, I don't see anywhere on here says the completion date was June the 15th, and we're extending it to June the 30th.
I think we'll
But
look
I mean,
at,
I just think it needs to be worded better.
we'll look at the wording and see if we need to just say
Yeah.
an additional 15 days, and then decide what to put as far as the completion date going forward.
Okay.
Because it's obviously not a new contract completion date, because we're past June the 30th.
Well,
Yeah, I
it
mean-
would be if they were to end today, they would be 7 days over time. And you would have have a liquidated damages provision in the contract. But what's likely to occur is a final change order that may, and I'm making this date up, Justin and Michael and Andy would know better, but there could be a final quantities adjustment change order that adjusted all your lines for final quantities and approved additional days for weather or otherwise that hypothetically made the contract completion date August 3rd. And then you would have that contract completion date.
That's
That's
what
right.
makes it confusing. We can look at doing some things to help make this a little bit easier to look at and understand. And I might add that this is something that probably is only going to occur as we get toward the very end of a project, which is where we're at with this. And because we've got the end of the contract for various reasons, may have gone beyond it. May have been that it's justified or not justified, but he's gone beyond the dates. We still, just based on what dates, anytime we give him an extension, it's going to be looked at for that particular item. So in this case, the work has not been done. That's what we're trying to get approval tonight. We did give him 2 weeks and we went from where we are currently. And that was already, we're already past that date.
So, Mr. Dodd, may I make this suggestion just from an administrative standpoint? Then, because of weather and other delays, we will also have our final survey or approval of the contract at some point. Would it make sense and be fair just to strike after the comma 15 calendar days, do away with the completion date and just extend the $3,213.79, approve that because the additional work was needed, and leave it open-ended till we
You could,
close
except
the
there's a per day liquidated damages amount in any type of construction contract. And so if I were the contractor, I'd say, well, it's fair that I be allowed additional time to do that. And so that time between June 15th and June 30th, that's real money to the contractor. And so they probably want that cover, knowing that the board granted that 2 weeks to do this unanticipated additional work. I would recommend that it be approved as presented, even though it is somewhat confusing since we're past June 30th. Because all that's doing is granting the contractor 2 weeks to do
Exactly.
unanticipated, unforeseeable additional work that the city says is needed. And so that grant of 2 weeks' time gives the contractor relief from what otherwise could be a liquidated damages penalty for those 15 days. So I would recommend it be approved as completed or as presented, knowing that you're going to get a final change order as the project approaches ultimate completion that trues up that date in a more accurate manner.
It would true up this item and any other line items that
That's
are
right.
open and close it out, just
That's
like we
right.
just did in item number 1.
That's correct.
Is there, if there's no more discussion, is there a motion to approve it as is?
Motion to approve.
Mr. Dickerson, motion. Is there a second?
second.
Second, Mr. Earhart. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Item 3, consideration of recommendation to approve a proposal from Pickering Firm Incorporated in the amount of $264,850 for professional engineering services to develop a sanitary sewer evaluation survey. Board, Andy has a lot more knowledge than I do about this, but this is simply smoke testing like the city's done in the past, smoke testing of the sewer system so that the engineers and the workers can look for puffs of smoke coming out and to look if there's any holes, any caps off of sewer lines, et cetera, that may be allowing rainwater to fill that sewer system and carry it to capacity when we don't want the rainwater in there, just to identify locations that need to either be repaired or caps put on them. Is that a decent?
Well, it's a problem that all cities contend with. It's also something that we get pushed from different federal agencies and local agents, and state agencies about making sure that we're looking into our sewer system. If you look at the crew, every month when we review our bills, we see the rain days at the very end of our agenda, and that shows spikes in what the city, what is actually being treated by the crew, and we're paying that bill. So it actually does cost the city of Olive Branch money when too much rainwater gets into a system. This is something that kind of needs to be going on a pretty frequent, regular basis for us to look at where these problems are and try to get them corrected. So we do recommend it. I know it's a lot of money, but I think it could actually make some impacts. And we have a lot of places in the city of Olive Branch where we have overflows with sewer systems from time to time. And a lot of that is almost always associated with rainwater getting into our system, so that'll help correct some of these problems.
A landowner mowing their grass may not realize when they accidentally hit that cap with the lawnmower blade and it cuts it off, they just see a hole, and they don't realize that that is just like having a garden hose down in there when rain's falling and it's going in there to fill it up. And again, we have to pay to have it treated, and we get zero reimbursement because it's not metered water. It's water that fills that system and may create problems elsewhere. Ideal, COO Riker, would be if we actually did 10% of our infrastructure every year until we get all these closed, and especially the older sewer lines that are in place that may have damage out in the middle of a field somewhere or somebody's backyard, and they may not realize that that infill is taking place in that sewer system and creating cost and problems. So I think it's worthwhile, and look forward to reporting back to the board, if you approve this, what is found and fixed so that we can eliminate some of the infill. And again, like Mr. Swim said, the overflow through a sewer grate, which nobody wants in their neighborhood or on their street.
I think it'd be a good idea to bring it back for the board and just give y'all a report of what we found, you know, and how much we think that will impact the system, because the report they're gonna do is gonna kind of give you an update, a little bit about how bad the problem is. So you can look at your lift stations, what they're supposed to be bringing in, and do theoretical calculations of how much sewage should be going in there, and when we have rain events, how much is actually going in there, and that really tells you a snapshot of how bad the problems are. So we can kind of bring that back and kind of keep y'all updated about that, and so we can see, I guess, understand why it's important for us to do this.
Board, any questions on
We've done this before, haven't we?
We have done
years
this.
ago? Yeah.
Yeah.
Homeowners get a notice.
We did.
Yep, we've made repairs, and I'm not quite sure how many years ago it was, but yeah.
Do we do this so often? I mean, so many years? I mean, when Bigelow was here, we did this.
We talk about it quite a bit. It stays on the forefront, and so we think that we probably need to continue looking at this and budgeting for it.
Okay, I mean, do you rotate like so many years? 'Cause I remember them doing it at down behind my house. Doing the smoke.
The crew is doing a similar program for a lot of their interceptor sewer lines, and so they're involved with it as well, because they have lines that have a lot of these problems as
So
well.
ideally, if we do a different section every year, say 10% over 10 years, so we get it all complete and address the problems and get them closed up, ideally.
All right. This is developing the survey. This is not actually doing it right.
This portion is for us to see how bad, where the problems are, and see, and they're gonna put together a report that shows us exactly
But
what
this
the
is the
impacts
smoke
to our
test.
system are.
That's what I meant.
This is
Yeah.
the smoke
This
test.
is the smoke
Yeah.
test.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
No
It-
cigars,
it's-
just regular smoke.
It's a service that doesn't require, it's a service basically, Mayor, that will identify where the problems
Yep.
are. It's
Yep.
not the construction that would remedy the problem.
Homeowners will get
We did
notice.
Correct.
one before.
I think next year we'll probably be bringing it back under next year's budget to consider some funding to actually do some, to correct some of these problems. So-
It's a necessary evil. We'd rather spend $264,000 on a half a mile of asphalt, but if we know we're losing money and creating sewer problems with rainwater going in, it just makes sense. And again, homeowners are notified, businesses are notified, and while our teams are out looking for the smoke that's going in the air so they can fix holes in the sewer system.
Correct. Okay.
If there are no more questions, is there a motion? Mr. Wallace, motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Hamilton. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Is there a motion to leave regular session to go in executive session to discuss items 1 through 7?
So moved.
Earhart motion, second Collins. All in favor? All opposed? We've left regular session. Is there a motion to go in executive session to discuss a personnel matter in the Animal Control Department, a personnel matter in the Engineering Department, personnel matter in the Fire Department, personnel matter in the Gas Department, personnel matters in the Police Department, personnel matter in the Street Department, and personnel matter in the Water Maintenance Department? Is there a motion to go in executive session for those items?
So moved.
Mr. Earhart motion, Mr. Wallace second. All in favor? All opposed, we are in executive session.